Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start the part 2 of the program. Now we will hear 2 scenes from this piece, A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams. Please give it up for our performers.
You're not old. You can get out.
I'm not in anything that I want to get out of.
What, Stella?
I said I'm not in anything that I had a desire to get out of. Look at the bed in this room and those empty bottles. They went through 2 cases last night. Oh, he promised this morning that she was going to quit having these photographs. But you know how long such a fancy is going to keep. Oh well, it's his pleasure like mine is worth the rich. People have got to tolerate each other's habits, I guess.
I can live with him. You can. He's your husband. But how can I stay here with you after last night? After last night, with just those curtains between us.
Blanche, you saw him as the worst last night.
On the contrary, I saw him at his best. But such a man has to operate animal force. And he gave a wonderful exhibition of that. But only way to live with such a man is to go to bed. It's your job, not mine.
After the rest of the living, you say it's going to work out. You don't have to worry about anything while you're here. I mean,
I have to plan to get us both out.
You take it for granted telling me something that I want to get out of.
I can't believe you're in earnest.
No?
I understand how it happened. Only you saw him in uniform, an officer. Not you, but
I'm not sure it would have made any difference where I saw him.
now don't say it was one of those mysterious electric things between people. If you do, I'll laugh in your face.
I don't say anything about more at all about it.
All right, then don't.
But there are things that happen between a man and a woman in the dark. That sort of make everything else seem unimportant.
What you're talking about is virtue desire. Just desire. The name of the rapid truck streetcar that bangs through the quarter. Up one old narrow in the street and then down at another.
Haven't you ever ridden that streetcar?
It brought me here, where I'm not wanted and ashamed to be.
Then don't you think that your spirit attitude is a bit out of place?
I'm not feeling or feeling that spirit at all, Stella. Believe me, I'm not. It's just this. This is how I look at it. A man like that is someone to go out with once, twice, 3 times when the devil is in you. But live with? Have a child with?
I have told you, I love him.
And I tremble for you. I just tremble for you.
I can't have you trembling if you insist on trembling.
May I speak plainly?
Yes, do. As plainly as you want.
Well, if you forgive me, he's common.
Why, yes, I suppose he is.
Suppose? You cannot have forgotten that much of bringing up Stella. Did you still suppose that any part of gentleman in his nature, not one particle, no? Oh, he was just ordinary, just plain, but good and wholesome, but no. There's something downright bestial about him. You're hating me saying this, aren't you?
Go on and say it out, Blanche.
He acts like an animal, has an animal habits, eats like one and moves like one and talks like one, and there's even something that's subhuman, something not quite at the stage of humanity yet. Yes, something ape-like, like one of those pictures I've seen in anthropological studies. Thousands of years have passed him right by, and there he is, Stanley Kowalski's survivor of Stone Age.
Now, those were the original of the play, and the following is part 2 of the mode transformation. The situation is that a mother is talking to her daughter who wanted to go to Tokyo to study.
はい、間違えました。We're going to present 2 scenes from Streetcar Named Desire in different presentations, different ways of presentation. You have just seen one, which incidentally was the presentation style called off-focus attention. In other words, the 2 readers, as you may have noticed, were looking at you, right? Because they are readers. Whereas what we're going to see next is the typical on-stage presentation, the kind of presentation which you're used to seeing on television. 常にテレビとかドラマね、普通のいわゆる演劇スタイルで役者同士は顔を見合わせているという形です。そういう違いがある。同じ芝居の別な場面です。スタンレイという男と荒くれ男とブランチというこの40過ぎの女性の、から見てあります。OK、はい、じゃあちょっとお聞きください。その後で、じゃあそれを使ってそれがどうだってことになってしまいますから、先ほど申し上げたようにそれを使ってモードトランスフォーメーション、をというものをやってもらいたいと思います。別な人にやってもらいたいです。That's about it. Please enjoy the presentations. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Oh, you're back. Do you want some beer? Yeah?
When I think of how divine it isn't going to be to have such thing as privacy once more, I can weep with joy.
This millionaire from Dallas isn't going to interfere with your privacy?
It might be so, but maybe I remind. This man is a gentleman. He respects me. What he wants is my companionship. Having great wealth sometimes makes people lonely. A cultivated woman, a woman of intelligence and breeding can enrich life immeasurably, and I have all of those things to offer, and time doesn't take them away. Physical beauty is passive, transitory possession, but beauty of the mind, and richness of the spirit, and tenderness of the heart, and I have all of those things aren't to take away, but grow, increase with years. Oh, how strange that I should be called a destitute woman, when I have all these treasures locked in my heart. I think of myself as a very, very rich woman. That I have forged, casting my purse before swine.
Swine, eh?
Yes, swine. And I'm thinking not only of you, but of friend Mr. Mitchell. He came to see me tonight. He dared to come here in his work clothes and to repeat his standard to me. Vicious stories that he had gotten from you. So I gave him some working papers.
You did, huh?
But then, he could walk. He returned me a box of roses to beg my forgiveness. He implored my forgiveness. But some things are not forgivable. Deliberate cruelty is not forgivable. And it is one unforgivable thing in my opinion. And it is one of which I have never been guilty. So I told him. I said to him, thank you. But it is foolish of me to think we could ever doubt ourselves each other. Our ways of life are too different. Our attitude and our backgrounds are incompatible. We have to be realistic about such things. well, my friend. No hard feelings.
Was this before or after the telegram came from the Texas Hold'em?
Telegram? Oh, telegram. As a matter of fact.
As a matter of fact, there wasn't a why at all. There isn't no millionaire. And Mitch didn't come back with roses, because I know where he is. And there isn't a goddamn thing but imagination and lies and conceits and tricks. Look at us. Yeah, take a look at us. In that worn-out, muddy-rot outfit, rented for some 50 cents from some rag picker. And with that crazy crown on, what queen do you think you are? I've been on to you from the start. Not once did you pull any wool over this boy's eyes. You come in here and spray water. You come in here and sprinkle powder all over this place. Sprinkle powder and spray perfume and cover the light bulb with paper lantern, and lo and behold, the place has turned into Egypt. And you are the queen of the Nile, swilling down my liquor. I say, ha ha. You hear me? I say, ha ha ha.
When I heard you want to go to Tokyo, I thought how stupid it would be to have such an idea. I started getting sick. Sick was worse. When you told me, oh, I said, Tokyo wasn't the sort of a place this child had in mind. It's a jungle. When you told me that the college you want to go to was near Mitaka, I became crazy. Then I changed my mind. No, wait, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Tokyo can be rich. This girl's life immeasurably. And she's got all the potentialities. The life in Tokyo can't take them away, but develop them. He's got beauty and passing, transitory possession. But the beauty of the mind, the richness of the spirit, and the tenderness of the heart, and take them away, but increase with the experiences in Tokyo. How stupid I was to have once turned you down, but I was sure I knew you full well. Stupidity is not forgivable. Parental stupidity is not forgivable. It is one thing of which I should never been guilty. But I was foolish, not trusting my own child. So, darling, we forgive. Guess what? Listen. Mother is going to launch a full-time teaching career next year. I got a report from Iceberg's board is brilliant. So, wish me luck, as I always wish you the best of all for your adventures.
To sort of wrap up in the mode transformation bit, We'd like to hear the next piece, form or content, based on the Charlie Chaplin's The Great Dictator speech. Mr. Shibahara is going to present form or content.
We are sorry, we at Omi Academy do not subscribe to the idea that English is, in the end, nothing but a means. That notion is foreign to us. We cannot regard a living language only as a tool to satisfy your desire or mine. A language is not just a means. In the long course of people having used it, their tears and joy, nay, their very souls have shaped its present form. There is life in language. In our foolishness, we have tampered with the beauty of language, just as we tend to tamper with human lives. The myth of efficiency has poisoned men's souls into thinking that language is nothing but a cold tool, and therefore an easy and trivial exercise. We want to think that language is easy. Will you be satisfied by simply having yourself understood? Communication does not just inform another how many loaves of bread you want to buy. It can entertain. It can persuade. Don't underestimate communication. Learners, do not delude yourself with the language is a tool myth. The German philosopher Wittgenstein once said, the limitation of my language is the limitation of my world. Not just the limitation of English or Japanese, but the limitation of your whole world. Don't forget that the very language you use limits your whole self. Imagine how limited your communication would be if you had only the word rain, and not raindrops, drizzle, shower, downpour, cloudburst, torrent, deluge. What a pitiably small world. For example, a lot of educators say that students these days don't know the phrase "aksha seisho." Besides, they even question teaching it, as what is referred to is disappearing. Yet, that is all the more reason why we should keep at least a language. Otherwise, it will only serve to exterminate what little image of aksha seisho you may have in your mind. Indeed, what we have been discussing applies to any language. But then, isn't English the object of your study? Then, strive to apply these lessons to your own language learning. Trying to escape the difficulty of learning a language will lead you nowhere. Only by knowing the depth of language will lead you, only by knowing the depths of the language, be it English or Japanese or any other language, will you learn to respect language, your own or another's. Listen, do you hear that delightful melody? It's from the tape of Mr. Omi's brand new English book. Oh, there may be a word or two which you don't understand, but so what? The beauty of speech more than makes up for that, doesn't it? Listen, folks. Listen.
The power of Christmas is peace, not peace. One Christmas Eve during World War I, British and German soldiers stopped their fighting together, enemies though they were. It was a Christmas truce, クリスマス休戦.
The Christmas Truce.
The Christmas Truce of 1914 is one of the most remarkable incidents of World War I, perhaps of all military history.
Christmas Day, 1914. Dear Mother,
My darling Meg,
My good friend Charles.
My dear sister Janet.
it is 2 o'clock in the morning, and most of our men are asleep in their dugouts.
yet I could not sleep myself before writing to you over this wonderful event of Christmas Eve.
In truth, what happens is almost like a fairy tale. And if I hadn't been through it myself, I would scarcely believe it.
Just imagine, while you and the family sang carols before the fire in London, I did the same with enemy soldiers here on the battlefields of France.
As I wrote before, there has been little serious fighting lately. The first battle of the war left so many dead that both sides held back until replacements could come from home. So we mostly stayed in our trenches and waited.
Oh, but what a terrible waiting it has been, knowing at any moment a metal shell might land explode beside us in a trench, and in daylight, not daring lift our heads above ground for fear of a sniper's bullet.
And the rain, it has fallen almost daily. Of course, it collects right in our trenches where we must bait it out with pots and pans. And when the rain has come on, we look for more deep.
It splatters and cakes everything, and constantly sucks at the boots. One every crook or his feet is stuck in it, and then his hands do when we try to get out. Just like that Americans going with the tar baby.
Through all this, we couldn't help feeling curious about the German soldiers across the way. After all, they faced the same dangers we did, and slogged about in the same mud.
What's more, their first trench was only 50 yards from ours. Between us lay no man's land, bordered on both sides by barbed wire, fire. Yet, we could sometimes hear their voices.
Of course, we hated them whenever they killed our friends. But other times, we joked about them and almost felt we had something in common.
And now it seems they felt the same.
Just yesterday morning, Christmas Eve day, we had our first good freeze. Cold as we were welcomed, because at least the mud was solid.
Everything was tinted white with frost, while the black sun shone over all. The perfect Christmas weather.
During the day, there was little sharing or light fire from either side. And the darkness fell on Christmas Eve. The shooting stopped entirely.
Our first complete summer in months, we hoped we would promise a peaceful holiday. But we didn't count on it. We'd been told the Germans would attack and try to catch us off guard.
I went to the dugout to rest and lying on my cot. I was not drift asleep. All at once, my friend was shaking my wig, saying, "Come see what the Germans are doing." I grabbed my rifle and stumbled to the tent and stuck my head cautiously over the sandbox.
I never hoped to see a strange and lovely sight. Clusters of tiny lights shining all along the German line, left and right, as far as the eye could see.
What is it? I asked in bewilderment. And someone answered, Christmas trees!
And so it was. The Germans had placed Christmas trees in front of the trenches with a candle or lantern like vehicles of goodwill.
And then we heard their voices raising in sound. Stille Nacht, heilige Nacht.
This carol may not yet be familiar to us in Britain, but some of the soldiers knew it and translated it. Silent night, holy night. I've never heard one lovelier or more meaningful in that clear white night. Its dark softened by a first quarter moon.
When the sound finished, the men in the churches applauded. Yes, Britishers applauding Germans. Then one of our old men started singing, and we all joined in. The first Noel, the angel did say.
In truth, we sounded not nearly as good as the Germans with their fine harmony, but they responded with enthusiastic applause of their own, and then began another.
O Thunderbomb, O Thunderbomb.
Then we replied,
O come, O ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. By this time, they joined in, singing the same words in Latin. Hades de fideles, leti triumphantes, venite, venite, in Bethlehem. British and German harmonized across no man's land. I would have thought nothing could be more amazing, but what came next was more so.
English, come over!
there in the trenches.
We heard one of them shout, "You know shit! We know shit!"
There in the trenches, we looked at each other in bewilderment. Then one of them shouted jokingly, "You come over here!"
And to our astonishment, we saw two figures rise from the trench, climb over their barbed wire and advance. Unprotected across no man's land. One of them called, then officer to talk.
I saw one of our men lift his rifle to the ready, and no doubt others did the same. But our captain called out, "Hold your fire!" Then he climbed out and went to meet the Germans in the pathway.
We had them talking, and after a few minutes later, the captain came back with a German cigar in his mouth. "We've agreed there'll be no more shooting before midnight tomorrow," he announced. "But sentries are to remain on duty, and the rest of you stay alert."
At first away, we could make our group so 2 or 3 men were starting out of the trenches and coming toward us. Then some of us were climbing out too, and in minutes more, there we were in no man's land. Over 100 soldiers and officers on each side, shaking hands with the men we've been trying to kill just hours earlier.
Before long, a bonfire was built, and around it we mingled. British khaki and German grey. I must say the Germans were better dressed with their fresh uniforms for the holiday.
Only a couple of men knew German, but more of the Germans knew English. I asked one of them why that was. "Because many have worked in England," he said. "Before this, I was a waiter at the Hotel Cecil. Perhaps I waited on your table." "Perhaps you did," I said laughing.
And one German told me he had a girlfriend in London, and that the war had interrupted their plans for marriage. I told him, "Don't worry, we have a beat by Easter. Then you can come back and marry you." He laughed at that. Then he asked if I sent her a postcard in a letter, and I promised I would. Another German had been a porter at the picture station. He showed me a picture of his family back in Europe. His elder sister was so lovely. I said, I should like to meet her someday. He beamed and said he would like that very much, and gave me his family's address.
Even those who could not converse could still exchange gifts. Our cigarettes for their cigars, our tea for their coffee, our sausage, corned beef for sausage, and budget buttons from uniforms changed owners. And one of our lads walked off the infamous spiked helmet.
I must have traded a jackknife for a leather-except belt, a fine souvenir to show when I get home.
Newspapers too changed hands, and
German scout with laughed at our words. They assured us that France was finished, and Russia needed beaten too.
We told them that was nonsense, and one of them said, well, you believe your newspapers will be with ours.
Clearly, they are lied to. Yet, after meeting these men, I wondered how truthful our own newspapers have been.
These are not savage barbarians we read so much about. They are men with homes and families, hopes and fears, principles. Yes, love of country.
In other words, men like ourselves.
Why are we led to believe otherwise?
As it grew late, a few more songs were traded around the fire, and we all joined in for I'm not lying to you. All lang syne. Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should all acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne?
Then we parted with promise to meet again tomorrow.
And even some talk of a football match.
I was just starting back to the trenches when an older German clutched my arm. My God, he said, why cannot we have peace and all go home? I told him gently that he must ask your emperor. He looked at me then, searchingly. Perhaps, my friend, but also we must ask our hearts.
And so, dear mother,
Dear wife,
Dear friend, dear sister,
tell me, has there ever been such a Christmas Eve in all history?
then what does it all mean? This impossible befriending of enemies.
For the funny here, of course, it means regrettably little. Dear said fellows told soldiers maybe, but they followed orders and we did the same.
besides we are here to stop the army and stay at home, and never could be sure of their duty.
Still, one cannot help imagining what had happened if the spirit shown here were called by the nations of the world.
Of course, disputes must always arise.
But what if our leaders were to offer well wishes in place of warnings?
Songs in place of slurs,
Presents in place of reprisals.
Would not all war end at once? All nations say they want peace.
yet on this Christmas morning, I wonder if we want it quite now.
Yours truly,
Yours always.
Sincerely,
With all my love,
John.
Andrew.
Philip,
John.
Thank you. Well, we have come to the final part of the program now. Every time when Christmas comes around, our hearts would leap with joy. However, hasn't it Christmas become too commercialized? Our final performances will be, we hope, remind you of the true Christmas spirit.
聞きたまえ、鈴をつけたソリの音を、白銀の鈴の音を、なんと美しい喜びの世界をそのメロディーは告げていることか。
リンリンリンと鈴が鳴る。冷たい夜をつんざいて、夜空いっぱいに散らばった星、また星の輝けに、
水晶のひらつきのようにゆったりとした時の流れをルーの調べに閉じ込めて絶えなる響きをまき散らす。リンリンリンリンと鈴が鳴る。鈴が鳴る。
Here is the sledges of winter bells.
Silver bells!
What a world of merriment the melody foretells.
How they tinkle,
Tinkle,
Tinkle in the icy air at night.
while the stars that oversprinkle all the heavens seem to twinkle with a grisly delight.
Keeping time
Time
in a sort of runic rhyme.
to the tintinnabulation that so musically wells from the bells,
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 bells, bells,
bells,
from the jingling and the tinkling of the bells.
It is only fitting at Christmas time that we discuss the dear Virginia letter in which she asked the New York Sun editor whether or not there really is a Santa Claus.
Dear editor, I am 8 years old. Some of my little friends say there is no Santa Claus. Papa says, if you see it in the sun, it's so. Please tell me the truth. Is there a Santa Claus? Virginia or Henry?
Virginia,
Virginia.
Virginia.
your little friends are wrong.
Yes, wrong, wrong, wrong.
They have been affected by the skepticism of a skeptical age.
Excuse me, Dr. Hatano. Tell me, what skeptical age does it mean? 懐疑的な時代は何でも疑ってみたくなる年頃?
Good questions, Virginia. It means jidai, of course. They do not believe anything except what they see. They think that nothing can be which is not comprehensible by their little minds.
Hold my Virginia, they are men or children of you.
And the great rivers of ours, man is a mere insect, an ant in his intellect.
If compared with the boundless world around him, if measured by the intelligence, capable of grasping the whole of truth and knowledge.
Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
He exists as certainly as love and generosity and devotion exists. And do you know that the abound and future life is highest beauty and joy?
How dreary the world would be if there are no Santa Claus. It would be as dreary as if there are no Virginians.
There'll be no childlike faith and no poetry, no romance to make this existence tolerable. The eternal light with which childhood fills the world would be extinguished.
Not believe in Santa Claus? You might as well not believe in fairies.
You might get your papa to hire men to work in all the chimneys and catch Santa Claus. But even if they will not see Santa Claus coming down, what will that do?
Nobody sees Santa Claus, but that is no sign there is no Santa Claus. The most real things in the world are that neither children nor man can see.
The most real things in the world are those that neither children nor man can see.
The most real things in the world are those that neither children nor men can see.
Did you ever see fairies dancing on their own? Of course not. But that's no proof that they are not there.
Nobody can imagine all the wonders there are seen and unseeable in the world.
You tell Punch the baby's rotten and see what makes a noisy sound.
But there is a veil covering the unseen world, which not the strongest man, or even the united strength of all the strongest men that ever lived, could tell apart.
Only faith,
Fancy, poetry,
Love
romance,
can push aside the curtain and view and picture the splendor of beauty and glory beyond. Is it all real?
Ah, Virginia, in all this world, there is nothing else real than abiding.
No Santa Claus?
Thank God, He lives, and He lives forever.
1,000 years from now.
Nay, 10 times, 10,000 years from now,
He will continue to make glad the heart of childhood.
Suppose Virginia would have written that letter today. Here are some of the possible replies from FBI.
Dear Virginia, I regret to inform you that, due to Federal Bureau of Investigation regulations, we are not at liberty to disclose the information that you ask. You may appeal to this decision under the Freedom of Information Act if you so desire. In the meantime, we are starting a file on you in which your letter is now listed as item number 1. We are also starting a file on Santa Claus. Clarence Carey.
From Ambassador of Spain.
Sí, Virginia, Santa Claus existe. Su existencia es tan real como el amor, la generosidad y la devoción. Tú sabes que estas abundan y dan a tu vida su máximo gozo y belleza. ¿Cuán sombrío sería el mundo si no existiera Santa Claus? Sería tan sombrío como si no hubiera virtudes. No existiría la fe infantil, no habría poesía, no habría romance para hacernos tolerable esta existencia. No tendríamos más gozo que de los sentidos y la vida. La eterna luz con que la infancia ilumina el mundo se extinguiría. No creer en Santa Claus, de la misma forma podrías no creer en las hadas. Tú puedes convencer a tu papá para que contraste hombres que vigilen la chimenea en Navidad y pillarlo. Pero aunque no lo viera bajar, ¿qué provocaría? nadie ve a Santa Claus. Pero eso no prueba que no haya Santa Claus. Las cosas más reales del mundo son las que ni los niños ni los hombres ven. ¿Has visto alguna vez a las hadas danzando en el césped? Por supuesto que no. Pero eso no es prueba de que no estén allí. Nadie puede concebir o imaginar todas las maravillas aún no vistas en invisible que existen en el mundo.
From cabin attendant.
Attention please, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to flight number 293 non-stop from New York to Narita. My name is Cheka Yanase, and sitting over there is Captain Obi. Miss Virginia O'Hanlon, you ask me whether or not there is a Santa Claus. Of course there is. And not only that, the plane will be flying over Norway. And if you look through the window, you can see the full moon Santa Claus. I'm sure he will be there, but you probably won't be see from up here because he will be very busy making preparations for Christmas Eve. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like the plane has either been hijacked or entering turbulence. Could you please securely fasten your seatbelt and stay calm? Why did you say Nicholas? How did you get in?
Through the window. I thought I must see Virginia before Christmas. Where is Virginia?
Uchi.
Oh, where you are? Listen, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
Where?
You are seeing him. But actually, Santa Claus is a heart. Each in his own words and each in his own way. For a free world united in peace, let us bow our heads and pray. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas! Well, he really scared the daylight out of us, didn't he? Aren't you glad you met Santa's though? Well, we wish you all a pleasant trip. Thank you.
From speed learning salesperson.
Merry Christmas, Gloria. Listen, I have good news for you. Have you ever had speed learning? This is it. Our speed learning packet will down your English program once for all, and we will give away at a special Christmas discount price. All you have to do is just listen to this material every day and learn and be heard within a few weeks. You will be able not only to understand English, but find yourself speaking English. Now, what's your question for whether it's a Santa Claus or not? The important difference in trust. In the same way, trust has turned many of the users into speaker things like Yoishikawa. Your trust in Santa Claus will turn to fiction Santa Claus into real Santa Claus. Yes, Virginia, whether you want not, as Santa Claus are entirely up to you.
皆さんもその教材使ってるんですか？
もちろん使ってます。前より上手くなりましたよ。
私もよく英語の発音注意されるんです。
あ、そうなんですね。でもこれ使えばもう褒められます。
お父さん、
お、なんだ。
この人は英語教材のセールスの人。
お、なんだおい。
あれ、
あ、
久しぶりです。
いやー、マキ、学生時代に君の発音には苦労したな。それは中先生もどっかに言われるはずだけど、苦労したけど、何今化粧品のせいです。
あ、違うんですよ。今英語教材の販売してまして、最初の娘さんに使ってます。またここから
英語？
はい。今、石川遼君が使ってるスピードラインの。
ちょっとね、聞いてられん英語が
そうなんですよ。
耳から見るとね、
はい。
だけで英語がなるかどうか、やっぱり文字で書かれた英語を生きた素材として一生懸命オーラルインタープレテーションなんか使って取り込むってことしなきゃ英語ができるならんってことは学生以外になぜなのかそれにその発音だよ、さっきちょっと聞いたけれどもちょっとね大きな何これああ、そう。いや、これはね、ちょっと忙しい。またおいで、ね、また遊びにおいで。頑張ってな。
On behalf of all historic peers, here is Martin Luther King Jr. Let's hear what he has to say.
You ask whether or not there is a Santa Claus. Well, I say to you today, Virginia, that in spite of what your friends or anyone else might say, you must believe there is a Santa Claus. So let it ho 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 ring from the stone mountain of Georgia. Let it ho 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 ring from every hill and every hamlet. I have a dream that one day I will be able to hold a hand together and sing Santa Claus is coming to town. Because, thank God Almighty, Santa Claus is alive and well. Sincerely, Martin.
Now this time, if Virginia would have written that letter to their heroes and heroines in the fictional world, let's hear what they say. So, from the Princess of Anne of Roman Holiday.
Is there a Santa Claus with an Anne? Virginia, I trust you will find it necessary to doubt even for a second whether there is a Santa Claus. Were you not completely aware of the invisible and what it means to us human beings? I will not be straying out here alone, leaving the castle. Princess Anne, may I ask you just one more question? Of all the cities that you have visited in the past, which one did you enjoy the most? But Virginia, you sound like a music bird. Each in its own way, each in its own words, unforgettable. It would be difficult to Rome. By all means, Rome. Virginia, I'm a woman before I'm a princess. I so believe in love. What's in a name? What's in a nationality? What's in an age? What's in a social rank? But I have to leave you now. I'm going to the corner there and turn. And you walk straight home, believing that there is a Santa Claus. As I try to cherish of dreams of love and a gentleman friend, Joe.
From Hamlet.
To believe in Santa Claus or not to believe in Santa Claus. That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to believe in things, whether we can see them or not. Or to totally refuse to believe in things which cannot be seen. Get thee to a school and learn the true facts of Santa Claus. To a school, go! Sincerely, Hamlet.
From the fairy godmother of Cinderella.
Virginia, your little friends are wrong. Of course, there is a Santa Claus. He exists certainly as a senator, a prince, and a little cricket exists. 1, 2, 사랑하두나 매주가부라 비비데바비데부 구제부야가를 원하는 것 비비데바비데부. Yours truly, Samantha.
From Medea.
Nodding in endless, hastily bottomless cut, and poor Virginia. Oh, my little, my eyes found infant. Living it and clothing like a living man. You will only become unhappy as I am. No. There is no such things as it's a myth, which is drive women only held down under the sea. Ha 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 ha. Truly, Medea. I only think.
From the Three Witches of Macbeth.
Oh, hail Virginia! Oh, hail Virginia! Thou shalt believe in Santa Claus forever! Do not trade the trumpet for the skepticism of skeptical age!
Saucy and the woman world. Motor peasant this mouth and head and
They cannot believe what cannot be understood through their foolish reason.
such folly!
Double,
Double, fire burning, cauldron bubble.
Double, double, and trouble.
Fire burning, cauldron bubble.
You're all truly orgies.
Last but not least, here are some of the characters who made the headlines in the news this year, which was sad. From Hanzawa Naoki.
親愛なるバジニア、君は今年列島で当たりを取った僕のドラマを見た。僕はあのドラマの中で真実を求めて戦い続けていた。近江アカデミーの近江先生も真実を求めて戦い続けている。君も友達が何と言おうと、君が信ずるところのものを信じ続ける。人生は戦いだ。サンタクロースはいる。必ずいる。必ずいる。だって僕はもうすでにそのサンタクロースが見えてるんだよ。君の心の中に見えている。困ってる人を見たら何とかしてあげたいという気持ち。今は忙しいけれども、そのうちに必ず何とかしてやろうという気持ちが誰の心の中にもあるだろう。それがサンタクロースなんだよ。その気持ちを持ち続けている限り、必ず大きな宝が戻ってくる。どのくらい戻ってくるかって僕の有名なセリフだよ。倍返し、3倍返し、いや10倍返しとなって戻ってくる。You get double, triple, no, 10 times even. Merry Christmas, Naoki.
Next, from Moreno Kurosaki.
センターはね、いるわよ。 った結果、トルコの国で4世紀、聖ニコラスという名前で登録されていたわよ。
Next, from Danitsu.
サンタクロースはいますよ。私は実際に会ってこの目と体で確かめてきたの。
Next, from Takigawa Christian.
Wie wird es mir? Million, querer? Não ele existir? Aussi, c'est le bon, carrément. La générosité et la piété. でも最も大切なのはあなたの心の中にある人を大切にしたい心、おもてなしをしたい心、それがサンタです。つまり、おもてなし、おもてなし、サンタクロース、おもてなし。最後に、サンタクロースの故郷、ノルウェーの銀融詩人をお呼びしましょう。どうぞ。
Hi, everybody. As a matter of fact, I don't look like a Norwegian. Perhaps I'm like, oh, no way. But one thing, dear Virginia, I'd like to make sure that you are making sure and sure to that Santa Claus is coming to town by telling what I'm going to sing now for you and everybody. You better watch out. Better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He knows when you're, he knows, he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad and good, sorry, good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out, better not cry. Better not pout, I'll tell you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is really coming to town this also here.
We are coming toward the end of our program. I'm sure you can recall the beautiful Christmas tree that you saw when you were a little girl.
A little Christmas tree was born and dwelt in open air. It did not guess how bright a dress someday its boughs would wear. Round cones were all it thought, a tall and grown-up fir would bear.
Oh, little fir, your first home is far and far away. And here indoors, these boughs of yours, with colored bows and gay, with candlelight and tinsel bright. For this is Christmas Day.
A dolly fairy stands on top till children sleep. Then she, a light one now,
from bough to bough goes gliding silently. Oh, magic sight, this joyous night. Oh, laden, sparkling tree.
And this joyous night, is about to end.
To conclude your oral interpretation festival,
We would like to hear a Christmas message from Mr. Owen.
These are actors, as I foretold you, are all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit shall dissolve. And like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a wrap behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with the sea. So the actors are all gone, but they have left one important message. But what's that message? Well, the message is that there is a Santa Claus, no matter how the world turns. Now, in this wide world of ours, there are thousands and thousands of people, nay, not thousands, 7 billion people living on Earth. Now that means that there are as many as 7 billion potential Santa Clauses. Now we still have a long way to go, you know. There are problems and problems, but I have a dream that the fact that there are as many as 7 billion people means that there are as many as 7 billion Santa Clauses. But how do we know? Now you may think that Mr. Owen is just cooking up, you know, because this is Christmas time. No, I have proof. Like I said to, who did I say to? I forget. There is this twinge of consciousness, feeling of consciousness. I really don't know how to describe it, but for example, if you see a homeless person begging for food out on the street, if you happen to be very busy, what would you do? You just pass him by. But even if you pass him by, you feel a twinge of guilt, and your conscience starts nagging at you. Oh, I should have done this. Oh, I'm sorry. Now, if this is not a glaring commentary on the existence of Santa Claus, what is? I certainly hope, therefore, that the day will come soon when all the people in the world have truly become Santa Clauses. I have a dream. Merry Christmas to all of you, and I'd like to see you again. Although the festival is not quite over yet, but this is my message for this year. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a choir coming in. Please take a light from them as they go down the aisles. And those who have received the light, will you please pass it on to your neighbor?
To every
everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven.
A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck that which is planted.
A time to kill and a time to heal.
A time to break down and time to build up.
A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance.
A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones away together.
To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven.
A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get and a time to lose.
A time to keep and a time to sow.
A time to rend and time to cast away.
A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate.
A time of peace, a time of war.
To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven.
All good things must come to an end sometime. That's the way of the world.
And our Oral Interpretation Festival is no exception. Will you all stand, please? And together, let's join the choir as they sing Silent Night.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, bright the Virgin Mother and Child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds wait out of sight, glory stream from heaven afar, every host sing Alleluia. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born.
Each in his own way, each in his own world, for the world united in peace. Let us bow our heads and pray.
Let us reflect upon the memorable 2013 and
Let us pray so the year 2014 will prove to be an
even more fruitful year to all of you and to the Oni at Omi Academy. Thank you and good night.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to make a wish and blow off your candlelight. 3, 2, 1.
Peace.
Thank you very much, everyone. This wraps up all the programs, and we hope to see you again very, very soon. Merry Christmas and good night.
どうもありがとうございました。皆様。
これをもちまして、近江アカデミー主催第2回オールリタリテーションフェスティバル朗読会を終了とさせていただきます。皆様本日は誠にありがとうございました。
皆様この後別の会場にて飲み会を企画しております。参加された方も見に来てくださった方もご自由に参加できますので皆さんぜひご参加ください。参加希望の方は私の方まで声掛けしてください。ぜひ一緒に飲みましょう。よろしくお願いします。参加者の方は写真撮影がありますので前までお願いします。出演者の方、写真撮影がありますので前までお願いします。
さんの前